Hey everybody,
Hey everybody!
here we are.
We are here. We are in San Antonio, Texas, headed back to the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Hope you're all having a great day.
Working our way back there. You've been calling this San Antone like you're a local.
Yeah, I was told that locals can say San Antonio. My uncle lives in Texas, down in the Houston area, so I've been saying San Antonio, and he's like, "You're not a local." Okay,
It's all good.
San Antonio it is.
It's been fun. Of course, we're looking forward to reconnecting in the Northwest. However, and often in these videos we have a specific kind of message that God's inspired us with, and really this week it was more about I think a message we received from God through connecting with another couple. A few weeks ago, we were in Memphis, Tennessee. Was Memphis kind of that tropical weather you'd hoped it would be?
It was awful. Can I just say that? It was like 90, probably 98 degrees when we pulled in, humidity of about 97%. So it was awful.
It was like a wet mop or something.
It was.
Yeah.
And when we pulled in, no air conditioning.
Well, no electricity.
Yeah,
I didn't
there you
have
go.
I didn't have power
That's it.
properly coming into our RV, and
So,
that's
no air.
That's a problem. And you know, we had traveled a bit, not a whole lot. That wasn't a long travel day, but you know, nonetheless, it was hot and it was a bit stressful because I didn't have proper power for the RV. And quite honestly, I was in a bit of a pickle. I didn't really have a solution either. So I was there, you know, trying to troubleshoot with not a lot of success. And we had the blessing of another couple that was observing us. Yeah.
Roger and Sharon. And
Yeah.
Roger, thank gosh, he was watching from outside of his RV, and he could see that we were in a pickle with, you know, the way, you know, Pat had been working on it for about an hour. So he joined in on our party. It's a blooper.
We'll cut that out later.
In our party, and he came out, and honestly, I think between the two of them saved the day.
Yeah, it was cool. I just got to kind of connect with him while rooting him on, and he fixed what was, you know, a relatively simple fix. Often they are, if you know what it is, right? So, but that was just the beginning, right? We had an opportunity to express our gratitude and take them out to dinner that night.
Yeah.
They actually invited us to dinner, you know, but we had to kind of fight to pay the check.
Yeah, it was good though.
And just, you know, I even though we didn't know him very well, I prayed for blessings over our time and our meal, and it certainly was blessed. So much so that as we continued to talk with them, we found out that they actually live in Tomball, Texas, which is where we were headed.
We were
just
headed
a week
directly
later.
to Tomball. That's where my uncle lives, and so it was like, how rare was that? We were going to their town.
Yeah.
Like in another week and a half or something. Exactly where we were headed, because that's where my uncle lives.
Yeah, and so they invited us to their home, where we had an
Fabulous.
amazing dinner, an absolutely
Fabulous.
amazing dinner, and an amazing fellowship with this couple.
Yeah, wonderful.
And you know, they invited me to say blessings over the meal that night, which I was honored to do. And they said, you know, we're believers, but we'd like you to say the blessing, and that just, you know, just opens the door, right?
Yep.
It just, God's just always opening doors, and it was wonderful. You know, sure, they got to kind of get to know us a little bit, but even though they, aren't self-proclaimed deeply religious people, right? We could tell just through their interactions and their wisdom that they shared with us how God is working in their life in such incredible ways. And,
Yeah.
you know, some of the wisdom that I know for me, honey, that when Roger and Sharon were talking about both their early days, which was, you know, very modest upbringing, and they've done well now, but Roger said, you know, we learned to never take any more than the other could give, right? And I thought, you know, how often do we put that pressure on each other, expecting so much more than maybe the other's prepared to give, right?
Sorry, the buggies are giving me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there's some saddle and ride ones here. So they just had a humbleness and love for each other that was really inspiring to us as we got to
They've been
spend that
together,
time.
married 46 years. They married, she was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And they've been married for 46 years. And they just, like Pat said, they didn't put any more on each other that each other could take. And
Yeah.
that was, sometimes I think we do that, you know. I put a little too much on Pat, and he puts a little too much on me. We don't need to do that. We
Yeah.
just need to know what we can each manage, and that's what we put on each other.
Yeah, and I was reminded of two things. One, actually, I wasn't reminded of this until after we met and had that wonderful experience with him. Over the last week or two, a good friend of mine, hi Andy, sent me some scriptural inspirations, and two of them stood out to me that really tied this together. One was that in Genesis 2, we know God, the creator of all good things, actually proclaims the first bad thing, and that was man's isolation. That's why he created woman, right? Because it was bad for man to be alone. There you go. Yes.
Sorry.
Right? And then in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, we hear about how two are better than one, and how one can, if one stumbles, the other's there to pick him up. And so to me, it was just that, again, affirmation that we're not meant to do this alone. We're meant to have friends to our destiny. We're meant to be together we are anyhow in this marriage. And as we grow closer to God, we grow closer to each other. So we wanted to just share that with you,
It's our
encourage
San
you.
Antonio experience and travel.
Yeah, and we're praying for you.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks. We love you. God bless you.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.